Room for all in the universe. Talking about space which does not truly exist. Even so, just the same, there is plenty of room for all in the universe. Indeed, you, all my children, are the universe. Exclusion happens in the world, and it has happened to you. This too happened to the innkeeper who thought he was excluding others rightfully from his inn. Limited awareness had taken him over. An adverse decision had been made, an adverse decision based, no doubt, on consideration of payment, as though a human being's worth is to be tied up in coin. A mistake was made without consideration of soul and of my will that there be love. Now please, dear businessman, do not think for 1 minute that I do not understand how it is that the innkeeper was caught up in his practical seeming business needs. Therein lies the sadness that the innkeeper did not know who his visitor was. He did not cognize that the visitor was himself as well. Uni means one. Verse could be considered to mean poetry. Then universe means one world, one line of poetry. Consider the universe as a song sung. It is indeed a song of oneness I sing without end. Now everyone is growing to the awareness that he, too, will come to sing the song of oneness loud and clear. I made a sound that became a universe. And you now find yourself living a life on this bouncing ball of life. Or, we could say, on an entwined ball of yarn waiting to be crocheted or knitted. And, therefore, untwining itself from being wound up so tight. Life is indeed a story that you wind and wind the way you used to wind a clock. The days when clocks, sundials, and egg timers filled with sand were turned upside down, that old-fashioned non-existent time that had followed the sun itself. The world that began as spun gold, took time and space in from out of the cold. And let time and space be strewn as they willed. Interest and belief in space and time grew until they were taken as the gospel. How simple life is when it goes by the sun by day, and by the stars at night. Before motors revving and doors slamming. An inn was seen as crowded. When space does not exist in the first place, there is no running out of it. Yet space is believed in. And hoarded. Oneness becomes owned and broken into twain, you and another. And another. And another for all non-existent time. The simplicity of oneness was cut in two. Segments of otherness came to live on earth, and earth now measured and cut into pieces. Separation was exalted. Man became disjointed. Come closer to me, and you and I will rejoin in oneness. You will reclaim truth. Selfishness will simply go away. Love will reign. When there is no space, there is nowhere. Yet one heart will reunite in non-existent time and space. This reunion matters. It matters to you. You have been seeking this union all your life even as you hardly thought of union as possible. Or you even scoffed at the idea. At the same non-existent time, there is no when. There is also no space. Therefore, there is nowhere to be. Now, where does that leave us? In infinity, of course, in infinite oneness shining, let the one of us be filled to the brim with oneness, true oneness, oneness as pure as the driven snow, oneness with no perceived barriers. Oneness with no pseudo-class differences, only simple awareness of oneness, oneness alone that fills the universe to overflowing. My child of oneness has no limits. Oneness is expansion. There are no lines drawn. There are no lines to repair, and no lines to erase. Oneness is